What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ace back here again with another story video. Today we're going to be talking about day one of me going to the Juggalo Gathering with my friends. Now, I know the gathering of the Juggalos has kind of been over-talked and shit, and everybody kind of knows what it's about, but I'm going to tell you my experience as this is my first time actually going to the gathering and telling you, how it is and shit like that. I'm going to keep it real. So I'm not gonna say I'm like a huge ICP fan or anything, but their music's okay, and I like their message about, family's family, even if you don't have anywhere to go, you're still family to us, shit like that. So, I find it really cool that they built a fan base for the outcasts, and they have a place that they can go, and, they have friends and people who understand them and shit like that. So, I went for that type of vibe of shit, it's basically a family party. So anyway, I was planning this shit for months. I had, my crew, my usual crew that I talked about in the last video with, Anton. What the fuck did I call the other guy? Shit. James. Called him James. So yeah, Anton, James, and then James's girlfriend, Tammy. What's his name? Jesse didn't come with us this time because I don't fucking know, he's weird. But anyway, so yeah, we were planning this shit for months. I bought, like, they announced that the gathering was gonna be going to Ohio fucking a long ahead of time. So I bought tickets like 3 months in advance, and we started planning for this shit. By the way, this is gonna be like a 3-part video because it was 3 days. So I'm gonna tell you day 1, day 2, and then day 3, which is gonna be kind of short because we kind of cut it short. But anyway, let's get into this kind of where the trip started. So we got a rental car, we bought supplies and shit. We got like, some drinks for, being at the gathering, some water. Actually, we didn't really get water. We'll get to that. That was a problem. But we got coffee, drinks, and like, other shit. So I think I headed to James's house at about, I want to say 8, 9 o'clock. And I was already tired because I had worked the day that we were leaving. And I got up super fucking early. I got up at like 7 a.m. and I got there at 8 or 9. I got off of work at like fucking 4 o'clock. And we had to drive. It was a 10-hour trip to get to Ohio, where the gathering was. So we were waiting for James's girlfriend to get off of work, so because she was going to be our first driver and she had to come with us. But, she got off at about midnight, got back to James's place, and I think we left around 1 a.m. The car was already packed and shit. She just had to get her stuff. And yeah, we were all good. Me and Anton hopped in the back. Tammy and James were in the front. So I think she drove for like the first, I want to say 2 or 3 hours, which was good. I tried to relax, listen to some shit on my earbuds. We had passed through a few different states on our way there. I don't know if I really want to give you guys locations yet because I don't want you to fucking come try to find me. I know niggas are weird on the internet. But anyway, I was looking out the window, taking pictures of different shit as we're passing through states. We passed through Indianapolis, which that was way later on. I'll tell you that because that's like, not really a specific location to me. But anyway, yeah, so I think at about 3 a.m., 3 or 4 a.m. was when I hopped in the front because that was when we had to get our first tank of gas. So then I drove, and me and Anton were in the front, and James and Tammy were in the back seat. We had stopped at that gas station. We got like a couple sandwiches to eat, and then I think Tammy got a coffee, and like, I think, what's his name? James just kind of knocked the fuck out for however long. We'll get to him later because he fucked up too. But anyway, we kept on the road, and yeah, me and Anton were in the front till about 6 a.m. and we saw a bunch of shit there. We saw an undercover cop almost pull somebody over because they were going like 120 miles an hour on the fucking freeway. That shit was cool. Yeah, we saw the fucking entire sunrise come up and go like right up into the sky and shit. It was cool. It was a really chill ride. But yeah, so about 6, 7 a.m. hits. I'm fucking floored. Like, I'm tired as shit. I was already up. I think it was like 26 hours I was up. I was fucking tired. And, yeah, so I pulled over again into another gas station. And, I got out, and then Tammy got in front. Actually, no, Tammy didn't get in front yet. See, this is where James fucked up. He got in front, and he drove for 30 minutes. Then he pulls over, and he's like, I'm tired, so, Tammy, I need you to drive. And I'm like, man, how are we gonna switch drivers if your dumb ass can't even drive more than a half an hour? But anyway, so Tammy takes over the rest of the drive, and I think we get there about 10 a.m., which is why it took a 9, 10 hours. We stopped a few times, so it took a little longer than we needed to. But it was cool. We got there 10 a.m. The gathering was already taken off and shit. There was people. There was fucking rows of people. I was not expecting this many people at this event, but I guess there's a lot of fucking juggalos out there. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. We drove. It was on not a dirt road. It was like a patch of land, just like a bunch of grass and shit they were having people park on. So we drove up this pathway, and we parked our truck or car, whatever the fuck it was. It was like a mini SUV, Toyota RAV4. But yeah, we parked our car, and we started like looking in the back, getting the coolers out and shit, and setting up our little camp. And me and Anton had bought like a 4-person tent because we were gonna chill in this tent. Well, it was basically a big campsite, so we had to set up, our little area so we could chill here because it was a 3-day event. So we set up our little camp area. Come to find out, the tent that me and Anton bought was not the full tent. It was a fucking canopy piece, and we didn't have the whole tent. So we stole what's their name? We stole James and Tammy's tent, and they slept in the trunk. Not the trunk, the truck. But yeah, so we set that tent up, and it was kind of shitty. We'll get to that later. But yeah, it was fun. After we set up our tent and shit, we grabbed a couple drinks out the cooler, cracked them, and then we went and walked around. Checking out the event. They handed us a map and shit when we got there. We got a little Juggalo pendant. I'll take a picture of that, and I'm sure you just heard the jingle there. But I'll put a picture up on the screen so you guys can see that. I wonder if I still have the wristband. If I can find that, I'll take a picture of that too and throw it up on screen. But yeah, so we started walking around the event. I think there was like 3 different stages. They had the nightmare stage, the dream stage, and I swear there was one more. I don't know. I'll have to find it. But I still have the event map somewhere. But yeah, it was cool. We were all like exhausted until we actually got there. And then we started walking around. It was cool and shit. But it was so fucking hot. It was like 95 degrees out, and there's not really any coverage there. I mean, not like they needed to have it, but it was 95-degree weather. The sun was beating down and shit. I just think we weren't really prepared for it. And yeah, so we started getting like really hot and sweaty and shit, and I had a bandana, so like I took my bandana and I fucking threw some ice cubes in it and put that shit on my head. It was cool though. I know I keep saying that, but yeah. So anyway, there was no like big events that we wanted to see until later on in the day. So what we ended up doing is we went to a smaller stage. It was called the nightmare stage. And we ended up chilling there for like 3 hours ish. We saw like a bunch of smaller rappers. I can't even remember their names. Like I said, if I remember or not remember, if I look at the event map, I'll throw them up on screen just so you guys can check them out, because they were fairly okay. They weren't terrible. But yeah, so it was cool. We were just chilling there, watching some small time rappers come out on the stage and do their acts and shit. And I think after that, after like 3-ish hours, we got up and we just kind of started taking another walk around, seeing what people are doing and shit, and it was cool. I mean, like, was different. There was a lot of fucking naked people there. It was interesting, yeah. But you know, people in like different costumes and shit. A lot of people were dressed up. You know, everybody was cool and shit. You know, saying, you know, what's up? You know, I haven't seen you guys at this event before. You know, how you guys doing? You know, how's your first gathering going? I'm like, shit, it's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, part of the family now, right? I guess. I ain't shit. But yeah, so I'd say about another 2 hours after walking around, you know, looking at the merch tents and like shit like that, you know, taking it all in. We go to the main stage because we were gonna see, I forget who the fuck was playing. Shit, I'll have to put it up, but it was a big artist that we wanted to see. Um, but yeah, so we're sitting out on the grass because Anton said he wasn't feeling very good. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go sit down. We're gonna stop walking, and we're sitting there. We're waiting for the next act to go on, and Anton just fucking disappeared. Just got up and walked away. Good move, Anton. I hope you're fucking watching this because you're retarded. But anyway, so we messaged him. We're fucking texting him, calling him. To come to find out, he went back to the tent. So we go back to the tent, and then this dude, man, he was having like heat stroke or some shit. I don't know. And we asked him if he had eaten anything, and he's like, no. And we're like, fucking A, man. So he was not getting better. Tammy and James went to go get a case of water because we didn't have any water. We brought fucking alcohol and we brought fucking coffee and shit. So yeah, we didn't, of course. I mean, dumb move on our part, but still. And they brought him food. But he wasn't getting any better, so we ran up to the front of the gate and we got one of the fucking ground workers to get us one of the medical people, and they drove up in this like, it was like a golf cart with like a bunch of seats on it, and it had like a little trunk on it. It was kind of cool. But Anton told them what was going on, and they're like, okay, well, you need to come to the medical tent with us. So we were like, fuck, man. So he gets in this cart, and they took him like, it was like behind the main stage. It wasn't behind the main stage. It was on the other side, opposite side of the main stage. And, yeah, it was really interesting. Basically, we walked all the way back to the tent and all the way back to where we originally were to find where the medical tent was when we could have just walked right behind us. But whatever. It was cool. We got there. Anton was doing good. They basically just gave him some water, told him to sit down and shut the fuck up. And he was good in like 15 minutes. So yeah, we got him up, and we went back to the truck, and yeah, we just basically kind of chilled there, and called it a day. It was about 6, 7 o'clock. There was no more acts that we wanted to see. I think there was like a wet t-shirt contest at like 11 o'clock or some shit that me and Anton were supposed to go see, but at that point, it was after we had like, you know, chilled out after 6 o'clock. I think it was about 9, 10-ish, and I was just like, dude, fuck it, I'm gonna crash for the night. And yeah, it was cool. So, and Anton wouldn't shut the fuck up either, because it was supposed to rain that night, and it was absurdly hot. So it started drizzling a little bit, and he's like, hey, you hear that? It's starting to rain. And I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, nigga, shut up. So it was cool though. Come to find out that Tammy's tent kind of sucked ass because it did not keep the rain out. It rained super fucking hard, and I woke up in a puddle the next day. So that was fun. But yeah, so that's the first day of the gathering. It was really cool. Second day is a lot worse, I'll tell you that. But yeah, well, I'll tell you that in the next video. Third day was even more worse. But it was really fun. I had a good time at the gathering, and I would do it again. And, yeah. So, if you like the video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed, the outro to this video is going to be one of my songs, as always, if you haven't heard that. And if you like it, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And, the gameplay in the background is my friend Universal_Jam. if you like him, go check him out. He streams on Twitch. And have a good day.
Walking out the house, fresh kicks on the feet. Just wrote another song and I'm sliding up on the beat. I'm walking to the corner, the homie is where I meet. Dap him up, play it off, now we walking up through the street. Talking to the homie about where